Hello, everyone. Well, the news is serious. The news is serious today. We have two issues to discuss today that are very serious. And one is the debt ceiling, and the other is the F-16's. So, getting right to the debt ceiling right away, they're nowhere near brokering a deal to raise the debt ceiling. And Republicans naturally want to cut spending. They see spending as runaway spending and out of the, out of control spending on the part of Democrats, just spending, 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 without any rhyme or reason, no reason to spend so much, and no justification for spending so much. So they want to curtail spending. And the Democrats, on their part, they want to raise taxes on the wealthy, which isn't a bad thing because the wealthy don't pay their fair share in many cases. They want to raise taxes on the wealthy, and they want to spend. They don't want any cuts to their programs. They want all of their programs and no cuts. So they're nowhere near brokering a deal. And McCarthy expressed optimism when he was asked by the media how things were going. He was asked directly by the media how things were going, and McCarthy said, "It's going great. We're almost at a deal. I think we're going to be able to make a deal." But in private to his Republican friends, he said, "We're nowhere near making a deal. We're nowhere near a deal." So, right from McCarthy's mouth, we're nowhere near a deal. So, maybe he is reassuring his Republican compatriots they're nowhere near a deal because they don't want to make a deal. They don't want to make a deal. They don't want to compromise. And neither do the Democrats. They don't want to compromise. It's a deadlock. It's two bulls butting horns. There's no room for any moderates. Do you see the problem with that? Moderates get things done because moderates are not so bullheaded as these people who fancy themselves smarter than moderates. They fancy themselves smarter than moderates. They think moderates are dumb. They think moderates must be dumb as a rock because our way is best. Our way is best. And so they're butting heads like a couple of bulls. A couple of bulls ramming their horns at each other. And those of us who are moderate in the population are not impressed. Maybe extremists are impressed, but I'm not impressed at all. And there was a guy with a U-Haul that rammed his U-Haul like a proverbial bull into the White House gates. And he said that he wanted to become president and take over, and he was going to kill the president and take over, and that he admired strong leaders like Hitler, and he pulled a Nazi flag out of his backpack. And he was obviously not white. He's maybe he might be Indian. I'm not sure, but he isn't white. And as I recall, the Nazis were white, and they were white supremacists. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy he's just ignorant, I guess, is the best word you could use to describe him. He doesn't seem to know that the Nazis are not his friends, and that the Nazis would not have approved of him. But he tried to ram his U-Haul into it wasn't even his U-Haul, it belonged to someone else. He just rented it, rammed the U-Haul into the White House gates, and said that he thought he was going to become president and that he admired strong leaders like Hitler. No, that's not going to fly. Maybe he thought that he could kill the president and claim insanity or maybe he thinks he can claim insanity now as a defense, because he sure acted crazy. He did act crazy, and maybe he is crazy. So, crazy or stupid or both. Yeah, guy is mentally ill and rams his U-Haul into the gates of the White House. I just have nothing to say about that, but the nothing good to say at any rate. The two sides, the Republicans and the Democrats, are nowhere near making a deal. And they should. They should make a deal. Because it will devastate our economy if they don't make a deal. Our economy will be devastated. People on welfare will be thrown off their welfare programs. They'll have no money and they'll be out on the street. There will be no jobs because everyone will be applying for a job so that they can, all these disabled people rush to get a job because they won't be able to support themselves or their families anymore. And they won't have their Social Security payments, so they'll have to go on to a job, and there won't be any jobs. People will be thrown out of their jobs because of the economy, and everybody will be competing for jobs, and it'll be a terrible situation for America's poorest and least and most vulnerable, the poorest and the most vulnerable among us, and the least able to pay the bills will be in dire straits. In fact, I'll be in dire straits too, personally. So, if they can pass the bill to raise the debt ceiling, that would be good. That would be good. Because who cares how far into debt we go, as long as the things keep moving along smoothly. Why should we pay? Why should we have to pay our our debts? Why should we have to pay our debts? I say, why bother? Why bother paying down the national debt? It's we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to. So there's the debt ceiling, and now these F-16s. Biden is sending F-16s to Ukraine, and everyone, whether rich or poor, young or old, should be concerned about this. Because this could lead to a nuclear holocaust. It could be the end of the world. Like, Biden just got done saying that they didn't need F-16s. He wasn't going to send F-16s. And he said that sending F-16s would be Armageddon. He said that. Armageddon. And then he's sending F-16s. Like, he wants Armageddon to happen. Puts the lie to his own words. Biden puts the lie to his own words by sending these F-16s, and it really is taking a risk of an Armageddon. It is taking a risk of Armageddon because those F-16s are the property of the United States of America. He should not be sending them over to a foreign country. They should be here in America where they can defend Americans on American soil. They should not be in the skies above Ukraine. He sent the F-16s anyway. Shows that he doesn't really care much about the rest of us and about what the kind of suffering we would go through if there were a nuclear war. I mean, if there were a nuclear war, the debt ceiling will be the least of our worries. Because the American economy collapsing and nuclear war at our doorstep. How can Americans survive? How can we be expected to survive? How can we be expected to survive? To survive if there's a economy collapses and nuclear war simultaneously. It's like Biden has it in for us. And I guess it's just because we don't comply with his socialist views. And he claims to be a capitalist when it really he's a socialist, so he's a liar. And the liar in chief said that they didn't need F-16s. If he sent F-16s, it would be Armageddon, and he sent them anyway. I've had it with Biden. Vote him out of office. Get him out. Vote him out of office right as soon as you can. I think we can't endure another 4 years of Biden. So that's it. F-16s on their way to Ukraine. Debt ceiling, threatening to collapse the economy. Republicans calling on Janet Yellen to testify that yes, the debt ceiling is about to be reached and that the economy is about to collapse if nothing is done. So all of these things are coming to a head at once, and the bipartisanship is there's no bipartisan support. The two sides are warring with each other, and they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be putting ourselves and our goals at risk. They shouldn't be putting America's lives at risk, and they are. So comes phase 2 of draining the swamp. Phase 2 is yet to occur, but we see that Trump wasn't able to drain the swamp, and neither were the people of this country able to drain the swamp. They weren't able to drain the swamp either. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what direction this country goes in very soon. And I'll see you next time.